Hello, my name is Sharon Choi, and I teach at St. Paul Preparatory Seoul. I'm a high school teacher. I teach regular social studies courses and also AP courses. Usually, it will be the history courses that require a lot of writing assessments, writing assignments that I would give, and it becomes challenging because when I have a lot of students, especially, I would have to spend a lot of time giving feedback. And for me, I usually like to give the feedback and then have them rewrite based on my feedback. So yes, it takes a lot of my time outside of classroom to give them feedback and have them write. The first impression of HUMMINGo was I felt like it was very easy to navigate, and it I was amazed how it gave very instant feedback, and it was not like feedback that would be too general, but something that sounded very genuine feedback that students would find useful. I would be spending like 30 to 45 minutes reading students' essay, writing feedback, very individualized feedback that would be helpful for students to improve their writing. And because I like to give opportunities for students to rewrite and resubmit, so that they show that they tried in understanding my feedback and try to put it in their writing. I would be working after school hours, at home, on weekends. So that would be the part that I found very challenging, and it was difficult to balance my like work life balance. Stood out to me the most was it was very specific, and I could tell that the feedback was written for specific students, because I could tell that it understood the purpose of the essay, the intention of what students were trying to make, and I felt like it went beyond just trying to correct my grammar, but it was looking also at the logic and like the structure and how students were like using evidence to support their thesis. So I liked how the comments were very individualized, and how it was thoroughly explained that students would understand just by reading the comment I was giving. Yes, I felt like the expressions were definitely better, and it did not seem like it was trying to replace the intention. I felt like it was understanding like student style of writing. So like the suggested expression seemed to be something that students could like just use it right away with minor fixes in their own writing. So I could tell it was understanding students' intention. Yes, I would say so, because I mean grammar is important, but for history essays, like it is less important than in English essays. I feel like so. I could tell when the feedback's given. I could tell that it understood what the thesis was and what the points that students are trying to make in their body paragraphs to support that thesis. So it went beyond just fixing grammar or suggesting like word choices, but it was actually understanding the logic that students were trying to make, and it was giving feedback that would help them to improve that logic. So I thought it would be useful not only for like English teachers but also humanities teachers that would teach like history or maybe like psychology or any sort in that subject area. Definitely, it's important to give both, and I give both as students would be curious on why they got such point or where the points were deducted. So it is important to have explanations to justify that score. And since HUMMINGo is giving both, students would not be too shocked or too surprised or to feel angry about the grade that they got. So I felt like the justifications were well explained and in giving them where the points were deducted, where they earned the points. So I feel like if students read that feedback thoroughly, they would not really have to have teachers give additional explanation of the rubric and the grade that was given. Yes, I felt like they were consistent and fair, sometimes more than me. Well, I try to be fair, I try to be consistent, and yes, I have rubric and I have my standard, but as a human being, sometimes that's difficult. I am affected by like time of the day I'm grading, or I could be very strict on my first one that I'm grading, and as time goes on, like the last one, I could be a bit more lenient in grading. So even if I try unintentionally, I may be unfair and inconsistent, but the good thing about these like tools would be that it's always consistent and would not be affected by time of day or any other sports. So I think that was the biggest like advantage it has. Because it gives very specific feedback and like suggestive expression, it will be definitely helpful for students who would try to improve their writing. It would help them to know what areas that they would have to practice more, and even for students who are like being homeschooled, or for students who want to have like extra practices on their own without having a teacher to give them feedback. I thought it would be a tool where students could practice and know where they are lacking so that they would be able to practice. So I thought it would be a good tool not only for teachers but also for students who would be interested in really improving their writing. So because it gives such a like an instant moment, whereas I was spending like 30 to 45 minutes for each essay, it gives me instantly, and then even if I'm spending a little more time to like read through and maybe edit some of the comments and stuff, I would say it's gonna cut my time in like more than half. Like I may be done in like 10 minutes. So I felt like definitely it could save my time and it could save my energy into doing something else that would be more useful for my class, for my life after work. Generally useful for teachers, definitely because it decreases the workload. Definitely useful for students because it gives a tool for them to practice on their own and know the areas that they need to work extra on. But also maybe it can be a minor thing, but the fact that it has an OCR feature where it was quite accurate in reading students, even the worst handwritings. I thought that is a feature that could definitely be useful for teachers when there are times when assessments are given on paper. So I felt like HUMMINGo really thought about the features that teachers need in grading and managing their classes. So I thought they were very useful in that way. It was actually better than I expected. I'm not like against technology or anything, but I was not really exposed to these type of technology or these tools a lot. The only thing or a few things that I use will be like ChatGPT, but my experience with ChatGPT and like trying to help me grade or give feedback was not really good because it was providing very inconsistent scores and feedback. So I did not have a lot of expectations, but then I was surprised that it was definitely giving very individualized, genuine feedback that would be actually helpful to students, and also because it was very consistent and fair, it would be definitely helpful for teachers in helping them to grade and something that they could really adopt in their work. So my expectation, it was better than my expectations. I would say I would definitely like praise that HUMMINGo is like not like other AI tools out there that's like inconsistent or unfair or like it gives too general feedback. I would definitely recommend that it has features that really thought about what teachers are doing in their classrooms and how much time that they're spending outside of classroom in grading and giving feedback, and the fact that it gives like even like the suggested question, it would definitely save teachers time in giving feedback when students come over to ask like how they can fix it. And I would also recommend that it would be a tool for students to practice on their own outside of classroom. So I would definitely have a lot to say to teachers or my colleagues that it is a tool that would be helpful for them in grading. It's difficult to summarize in a single sentence, but I could say that it's a tool. It's a tool that's developed for not only for teachers but also students. It's gonna save time for teachers but also for students to actually improve their writing if they are proactively using it and using it to revise and practice. So I would say HUMMINGo is a tool that have thought about like educational purpose and educational goal in teaching and learning. So